Hi, I'm Chrissie. Welcome to Chrissie Crafts. Come and see what's on my hook, what's in my hoop, and what's happening at home. So what's on my hook this week? Well, I've started some Tunisian crochet. The lovely Faye from the Crochet Circle podcast is doing a Tunisian crochet along for the month of March and into April. And I've been wanting to do Tunisian crochet for a long time. I think I dabbled in it once a couple years ago, but I thought this is a really good way to get to grips with it and give it a try because I think the stitch is so beautiful looking. So it started on the 3rd of March and I was at the ready with my hook and my yarn. Everything matches. I chose my Eden Cottage yarn that I had hanging behind me. It's come off the hook, off the wall, and I've caked it up. It's beautiful green color. And I had a Tunisian crochet hook, and I started, but I'm not even going to show you closely because I've learned a lesson that I'm going to share with you today. Has nothing to do with the pattern, has nothing to do with the yarn, it has everything to do with the hook. It must have been at least a year and a half to 2 years ago that I bought some Tunisian crochet hooks with the idea that I would start, and then I never got around to it. I bought a big bundle, quite cheap, because I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but you get what you pay for. And my Tunisian crochet along is on hold for about 24 hours because I started hooking with this and it was snagging and the yarn was getting fuzzy bits on it and I didn't know what was happening, and you won't, well, I think you'll be able to see. There are some rough edges on my hook. Cheaply made, cheaply executed, and that's what I get for buying cheap products. So right underneath the hook, I could feel it with my nail. It snags it. So while I hunt down the original place where I ordered this, and I contact the company and say, oi, what's up with that? And try to get a replacement, I have ordered a Knit Pro Tunisian crochet hook, hoping that it'll be much better quality and much more suitable for what I'm trying to do so that I can catch up with this. Because I love this yarn and I really like the pattern, and I love, Faye has a Ravelry group for the Tunisian crochet along, and it is full of lovely people all chatting about what they're doing and sharing tips and ideas and hints and things. So I'll be getting involved with that eventually. The other thing I got off my hook, a little something I started making with my glow-in-the-dark yarn that I got from Unravel, little tiny stars that were in the last issue of Simply Crochet. There's a new one out now, but this is the last issue. And we were all talking about this at Unravel. We thought we'd try some stars with the glow-in-the-dark yarn, so I'm hoping to make a bunch of these. And I haven't blocked it or woven in the ends or anything, but it does glow. You hold it in the light and charge it up for a while, and then the lights go out. So I hope to make a whole bunch of these. They were very quick and easy to make, and put them on a little cushion or hang them from a mobile. Watch this space with that one. Took me about 5 minutes to make. It's really easy. And that leads me to my tip of the week. The yarn that I used, the glow-in-the-dark yarn, it's a bit ribbony and it's caked up, but it's the type of yarn, I'm sure you all have some of this, that tends to fall apart. It just unravels really quickly. And my yarn bowl is taken up with something, another yarn, and so we're full of colds in this house and viruses. Everybody's getting over the winter colds, so we have lots of Kleenex boxes, and this is a pretty one. But then I looked in, it was empty, and I thought, let's pop some yarn in there, and voila! Your tip of the week, a Kleenex box, an empty tissue box, can be a good yarn holder. Let's give that one a go. I have a funny story to share with you about knitting. A number of years ago, I tried out knitting. I had some friends teaching me. I think I'd made a quick little scarf, and I bought a Sirdar book of easy knitting for beginners, and I bought a bunch of the big softy pink yarn, and I was going to make a cardigan. Then I got pregnant and I had a baby, and baby brain took over, and I just didn't get a chance to pick up needles again, because picking up a hook and doing something I knew already was so much easier with the sleep deprived. But having a baby addled my brain and erased my memory, so that when I've recently been trying to start knitting again, I thought, oh, I started a cardigan a couple of years ago. It would have been more than 7 years ago now, because my youngest is 7. That's a long time ago. Anyway, I was rifling through my storage and I found the original cardigan that I had thought I'd just started. This is the Sirdar Big Softy Pink. And the weirdest thing was, I hadn't just started it. That's one side. That's the other side. Or maybe it goes like this. I don't have a clue. I don't knit. Maybe it's like that. Well, I do knit. I just don't remember it. And the back. Can you believe this? I found the back. I'd done all that. I have no recollection of this. I don't know when I did it. It's curling up because it's been in storage for 7 years. I don't know when I did it, but I did a whole bunch. And I'm assuming this is a sleeve, because there's not much left to do the cardigan, because it just has a big button at the top. That was it. So I'm assuming that's a sleeve. So where I thought I just started a cardigan, I darn near finished the thing. So after a quick text to my friend Sandra, I'm going to be popping over there in about 10 minutes so that she could help me figure out where I am and what to do, because I need to relearn how to do that so I can finish it and wonder what happened in my head having a baby and where the rest of my memory's gone and what else I might have done that I can't remember. The other crocheted item I finished this week is the Simply Crochet mandala for last month. I was doing it in the Namolio linen thread. All the details for everything will be down below, as usual. I was blocking it, and then I realized, actually, this is a topic I'd like to talk about. So we will segue from the mandala into blocking. But here it is so far, all with its thread and a gazillion pins, because thread needs a lot of pins to shape it. And one of the things I usually do, weaving in ends, usually with things like thread crochet or fine lacy crochet, I find it much easier to do after it's been blocked, because before it's been blocked, it's all curled up into, like, it's just really tricky to sew in all the ends. Whereas I find once it's been blocked, it's nice and open, all the stitches are even, and it's very quick to weave in the ends. So that's that. Now, as far as blocking goes, obviously something like this must be blocked, because what it looks like before is a mess. When I first started crocheting, I always find before I invest in a hobby or a craft or anything, I like to give it a test and try things kind of on the cheap just to make sure I like it. And then if I do, then I'll invest in it. One of the easiest ways to block something is on a towel, a bath towel or a hand towel, something small like that. You could set it on a mattress and just put pins in it and lay it out. The pros of this method are that it's cheap or free. You just use a towel that you have to hand. And it's a good way to experiment with blocking and see how it works for you. The cons of it are it's very floppy because it's a towel. The pins can sometimes wiggle about. You have to really secure them in there. So after trying it once, if you do like blocking and like crochet, then you will want to invest in something else. So as you can see here, I do have the foam puzzle pieces. Now I've seen these with grid and everything, you know, grids for knitters and crocheters and everything. I don't even know how much they go for, but this is part of a set of foam blocks that I got off of Amazon, a kid's giant puzzle piece for maybe a $5. Such a cheap and easy way to get some foam blocking boards. The pros with this are it's cheap, and it's a good way you could put 1,000 pins in, and because it's foam, it is very easy to use and will take the pins and stay sturdy. You can hold things up like this and show them off and they won't flop around. The cons are that your kids will find them and take them and start playing with them and sometimes get them dirty. And so if you have these, you have to hide them in your craft cupboard or somewhere where children will not get to them, because I have been blocking this and the rest of them come out and then get built into some sort of den. So I share these with my children. But that's a handy dandy way to do that. So next week, you'll probably see it behind me, this mandala, blocked and ends woven in and hanging, beg your pardon. And then I'll be choosing the new colors for the new mandala that I saw in this month's Crochet, Simply Crochet magazine. Finally, one of the best blocking boards I've had is behind me for those serious-minded blanket makers who have lots of granny squares and lots of stacks of things they need to do some serious blocking. There are blocking boards available. These are boards that are drilled holes into them. And they're wooden, sturdy, solid, often with dowels that you could stack loads of grannies on top of each other. But I must say, this is the best one I've ever seen because it's pretty. You don't always have to have just a plain wooden one. And this is by Busy Bee Blocking Boards. It's a family-run business. A friend of mine named Becky, it's her business. She had this idea for blocking boards and just got to it, and they are gorgeous. And so I chose a decoupaged one with pretty floral. She does brightly colored ones, plain ones, but they all have the nice thing about blocking boards is that, as you can see, these are holes drilled for hexes. So you can put hexes, granny squares in all the corners, stack them all up, all different shapes and sizes, and it is really easy. You don't have to fiddle with so many pins, and it just fits this granny square perfectly. By the way, this is like a 2-year-old whip. I started these gorgeous circle in square grannies, and I was doing all the different colors of the Venus Nicum, however you pronounce it, and they're so soft and beautiful, and I just need to finish it. I've got loads and loads of squares, but you know what it's like when you're doing loads and loads of squares, you kind of lose the will after a while. So I thought I need to take a break from that for a little while, but now getting them out to put on the blocking board, it's reinvigorating me to get working on that because it is so soft. I will show you too. The blocking board comes with this lovely little cluster of dowel rods, dowel pins, and little Busy Bee ribbon. It's the little details, you know how I feel about the little details. So those are 3 types of blocking for 3 different levels of commitment. So let me know what you think. Do you have any other ways of blocking? Any tips? Any suggestions? Please put your comments below because I always love hearing from you. Now, what's in my hoop? You remember last week I had ironed on the rose motif to my daughter's top because there's embroidery on clothing everywhere, so I thought I'd embellish. Well, I've just started. So it's on the back, so this is the front of the top, and this is the back. And I've just done a very simple stem stitch around the rose, starting dark in the middle and just getting lighter and lighter towards the edge. It took me, maybe half an hour to 45 minutes. The nice thing with this is that I had a very busy weekend. I've had a very busy week, so I don't have too many things to show you today because I sing in a chamber choir locally, and we had a very big concert, our 10th anniversary gala concert on Saturday night. And so we rehearsed a lot Saturday all day. There was an orchestra rehearsal, and in between the orchestra rehearsal and the actual concert, there was about an hour and a bit downtime. And so I always bring a craft project along so that I have something to do just to fill the time and to avoid getting nerves for singing. And I brought this along because it was just this with 4 colors of floss, and scissors and a needle. So compact. And it's the kind of thing where I was chatting with my friends and just stitching along, and lo and behold, boom, it's done just before we went on stage. So that was good. So it's a convenient little carry along project. What I have in mind is that, as you can see, the leaves that go around, I'm going to do that with a simple back stitch so that I can video a tutorial to show you all what a back stitch looks like, because I've had some emails and some comments, like messages and things, come to me that a lot of people are interested, a lot of the crocheters are interested in trying this out, but don't really know where to begin, and it is so easy. So I thought, actually, if I show you how to do just a simple back stitch covering up a line that's drawn on there, maybe you'll give it a go yourself. There are so many fantastic crochet tutorials out there, many done by friends of mine, so I don't need to do that. But actually, when I look for embroidery ones, there aren't as many embroidery tutorials, not as many as one would like. So I thought, let me give it a go and see what you think. But I will always do that separately and just put them in the YouTube channel rather than bore you with a big tutorial here. This is just for us chatting. So that is coming along quite nicely. And the other thing I wanted to show you, I found the peacock skirt that I had embroidered on in my friend Carina's book. And it's a summer skirt, it's linen, that's why I didn't have it to hand last week. But there is the peacock. Hello, Mr. Peacock. I don't know if it was apparent in the book, but I used some metallic thread, and you can probably see it here. I mean, here's the gold and little gold centers to the feathers. I just decided to jazz it up a little bit and add some color. I kind of like it on the gray. I wanted it, you know, neutral, but I wanted it's down at the bottom. So that'll be fun to wear come summertime. But as you can see, I'm freezing. I'm so cold I cannot get warm. It is still winter, and like cold, damp, chilly winter. So I'm forever layered up and sweatered up and everything. Now, since there wasn't much to show you by way of what I've made or what I'm working on, let's see what's happening around the home. I thought it might be fun to show you different ways of displaying things that you've made, because obviously everybody has blankets that they leave on a sofa, and as you can see, I have some embroidery that I do on a vintage doily, and I put in the glass frames. These glass frames that have been popular for a little while now are so fabulous to display lots of little bits of embroidery, because they're not completely flat, they don't squash your stitches. And so I have a couple different sizes of these. And it's very easy to transform an embroidery hoop into a little frame. As well, I like displaying my shawls and my scarves that I have made, the really pretty ones, because I don't like tucking them away in the winter or hiding them in a cupboard or hanging them up. I like them to be out where I can see them. So I have a vintage apple picking ladder that I hang all my, or a selection of my scarves and shawls on to display, and looking at them makes me happy. It makes me remember what it's like to finish something. Anyway, that's all for today. I'd like to first say a big thank you to Faye from the Crochet Circle podcast for the shout out last time. It was really nice to hear that you're enjoying my videos. And welcome to any new followers and subscribers. I hope you like what you see, and I will talk to you again really soon. Have a good week. Bye!